Hi, Joni.
Hello.
Hi, Joni.
Hey,
Hi,
take it a
Judy.
minute.
Thank you for joining us.
Sure.
Yes, a
Absolutely.
moment. Let's see. Hi, Joni. Welcome. Hi,
Hi
Sheila.
there.
Welcome. I know Edwina's not going to be here tonight. There we go. I think I saw a brief flicker of us.
Yeah,
It,
it should be up now. There's been some issues where it's not syncing directly onto the group feed. It's going individually for some reason. It keeps bumping it out. I've got to reset it and put it back in.
okay. Well, welcome everybody. I think we're live now on Facebook. So thank you everybody for being here. Thank you, Mark, for joining us. I said Edwina's not going to be here tonight. I did reach out to Krista today, and she's just handling things on her own for right now. I know we're all struggling to just get through the days, things that we had planned in our lives before this happened, that now we forget things, or in my case, just things I just don't have the energy to do that I maybe would have had previously that I can't do. But one thing, I had a friend call me today. She used to go with me to see the Mavericks. Most recently on July 12th in Palm Desert, she was with me, and she was talking about how Raul and the band was so nice to us every time. And she has seen the posts on the page, and she's like, it's consistent. Everybody says the same thing. And I said, I said that when this started, when I would talk to people, that everybody's story, it wasn't just my story, and then people had better. And she said the exact same thing that I said, and we see it on the page and people's comments, and it makes me so happy because there were times when people were like, she just likes that band, and she's all into the Mavericks, and they didn't understand. And I see it what it is. But um Judy posted something today. I don't know who Stacy Siegel is, but she posted it on her, and it
Yes.
was a comment, and it made me think of Raul. Hi, Hillary. Welcome, love. I'm so happy to see you. And Judy shared this, and it said, treat everyone with politeness and kindness, not because they are nice, but because you are. And that was truly how Raul treated us. He didn't treat us that way because how we treated him, or we were nice to him, or we were starstruck, or that's how he was as himself to us. That was just him being himself. And you don't find a lot of people like that, not especially somebody, famous, a celebrity, however you want to look at it, that he was doing what he loved, building a career, and he was still so kind to everyone, to all of us. Look at all the people on the page, people posting every day, hundreds and hundreds of stories of, I mean, I'm not even nice to people like that all the time. Yeah. Who
I find
is?
it hard to believe you are. I'm sure you
Flavor.
are.
But
Yes,
but
most of the time. I'm sure most of the time.
but Raul was. And I mean, I'm constantly reading more and more stories, being amazed. But thank you all for being here. I haven't seen if we're actually on Facebook, but I
Yes,
know.
I saw it. I did see
Okay.
it. We're on.
Thank you. Thank you. If I haven't
Welcome.
welcomed everybody on Facebook, I'm sorry. I'll try and get there to welcome you all. Thank you for being here, though. We're so happy to have you here. And let me see if I can comment. I can't. I'll look down further on the page and try and find it. Or maybe I just won't be commenting on Facebook tonight because I can't find it.
You refresh it on your phone, and then
Yeah,
it'll show up. You
it
always have to
will.
refresh it.
Okay. Well, I'll go back. If you don't mind, I don't know if you all saw the post from a gentleman named Thelonious Funk. You saw
Yeah,
him on the page today.
yeah.
And he made a really, 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 really moving post about his experience meeting Raul in the band, and it's really, really good. It's on the long side. I did reach out to him on a message and said that I wish he would join us because he really put it quite beautifully. And he's, a Mavericks fan. So hopefully one day he'll join us here. But I know that Mark Potter is here. And, from what I've been told, everybody loves Mark Potter.
Oh, from what I can see, he's still got all the stuff. So Annette hasn't found out where he lives yet.
No, I don't know where, you know what, Ken?
Yeah,
I'm
not yet.
a false sense of security. Okay. Gotta let him relax a little. Then you
Yeah.
go.
Then you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Mark, I was wondering, thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy to
Oh.
see you. Your
me
posts
too.
every day
Me
just
too.
Hey,
leave
Judy.
me all throughout the day. Your posts leave me just my mouth dropping with the stuff that you have. You're like a Mavericks encyclopedia. And Hillary would be the photos that go with the two of you are dangerous. And if you got Bob Collins in there, oh my God.
I think he probably knows more than me, Betty, all my cousins combined.
I think so too. Like that jacket. But I'm just happy to see it all, see him post it. But Mark, I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit, one, about how you got to the Ryman on Friday and Saturday, how that was facilitated, and then about your experience there Friday and Saturday, your feelings about the shows.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just kind of touch on certain moments that stand out. I was aware that something special was going to take place at the Ryman about a month ago. To be honest, I stopped going to the live shows 2 years ago. I went to Arizona to a show with Hillary and her husband Steven and another longtime fan, Colleen Mueller.
Uh-huh.
And there came a point where I just wasn't connecting with the band like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
And there came a point where Raul was going one way, and I just couldn't go along with it. But none of that mattered last week.
What?
I'd been talking to Robert Reynolds off and on. We've become just two music nerds that enjoy talking about Buddy Holly and the Jayhawks and Elvis Costello and whatever music we have in common. And he was giving me updates as he was reconnecting with Paul Deacon. And I knew when he went to see Raul. And I was ecstatic for him because throw the band out of the equation, Paul Deacon and Robert Reynolds were friends long before the band ever existed. They had a brotherhood that goes back, when they had their Flock of Seagulls haircuts in the mid-'80s. I've got a picture of that too. It's hilarious. But Robert put forth the offer of if it was possible, of me being at the shows at the Ryman. And I said, sure. If at all possible. And he called last Tuesday and said, okay, it's all taken care of. We got you. So I got to Nashville late Wednesday night. The next morning I get a text from him. It's the address from where they were rehearsing, the final rehearsal before the shows. And I make my way down there. I walk in, and as I'm walking to where they're rehearsing, a familiar face is coming towards me, and I vaguely recognize this guy. And it clicked. It was Arizona Dave from the Forum. And we're both looking at each other, like, I know you from somewhere. And then it clicks, and then we just have a little reunion, because we hadn't seen each other in 6 years, I think. And then Percy Cardona was walking down, and we had a little moment outside the rehearsal room, and I sent Robert a message, and I hear him yelling my name, and I go down, and him and his wife Michelle were there, and I see Alejandro, and we're just reconnecting and going to the rehearsal room, and I had this feeling that at any moment someone's going to grab me by the scruff of the neck and say, you don't belong here, get out, throw me out on the street. But being in that room, I found a spot on the couch. I just went into fly on the wall moment. Like, I'll just stay out of the way, sit back and observe. I don't want to interrupt what's going on. But Eddie Perez saw me and he said, "Hey man, how you doing? It's been a long time." We hugged and we had a moment, and Max Abrams came over. We're hanging on the couch just talking about how awesome Mandy Barnett is, and how, talking about books and music. We're just, we're relaxed. The gravity of what was taking place hadn't hit me yet. And that day, it was all about reconnecting with all these people that I hadn't seen in a long time. And to be there at the moment when Robert Reynolds rehearsed with the band for the first time, and seeing him fall, it was like he had never been out of the band. Him and Eddie were face to face, smiling at each other, and enjoying creating music together again. To see the moment when Jimmy Vaughn walked in the room, and he had that charisma like Raul. When he entered the room, everyone knew he was there. I mean, I got to have a moment with him, just shake his hand and tell him the music he created and his brother Stevie Ray were the reason why I started listening to the blues when I was a teenager. And, to watch, and I also watched him as the band was rehearsing, to see Jimmy Vaughn as a fan, to see his foot keeping time with the music, and to see people approach him and he's smiling and laughing and telling stories. And when he leaves, he winks at me and pats me on the shoulder and gives me a knowing nod. And then it hit me of what I'd wanted to say to him. Just in that moment, things just slipped my mind. And later on, I was like, I should have said this and I should have said that. But, sometimes you think about that later and start, I just wanted to enjoy it. To see Michael Garrow walk in and to hug him for the first time in a long time. And, we talked about the first time I saw Raul in 2010. They played a show in Fort Smith at a little club that there was maybe 20 people in the room, counting the bar staff. I mean, but Raul outwardly performed as if he was on the stage at the Royal Albert Hall. Inwardly, he may have been cursing everybody, like whoever booked the show and whatever. But outwardly, he didn't let it show. And we talked about the ribs. Michael loves food, so of course we talk about the ribs at that venue. And that night after that show, Raul came out. He sat at a table, and a line of women naturally just descended on him and me. So he's taking pictures, smiling, signing stuff. And this is the first time I've met him, 18 years after I first heard him. And when I get to the front of the line, he said, "Finally, another dude." and there was a woman standing nearby when it came time to take the photograph. She offered to take the picture, and I posted it on the page the other day when I posted the first and last photo I took with Raul. And we both look like Mom caught us with our hands in the cookie jar. It's just these weird, odd, funny looks on our faces. And that lady who took the picture, later on that night, I went on the forum, signed on for the first time, stopped finally lurking, and wrote a review of that show, which I've kept a copy of it in my collection. That lady who took my picture was Shirley Hill. And we ended up becoming concert buddies for a long time. When I last saw her 3 years ago at Tulsa, we'd go to Texas, Oklahoma City, and Nashville and just drive. She was the first person that I met from the forum. And in that room, I also met Paul Barker. He was in that rehearsal room. I didn't know he was there. He just popped up, and we were just hugging and shaking hands. It was like this giant family reunion. I was getting to, everybody was so welcoming. You almost didn't want. I think I was there for 7 hours in that room. Never left, not even to go to the bathroom, because I didn't want to miss anything. Because they were running through these songs 2 or 3 times, working everything out, trying to make sure everything's right. And then at the end of the day, Lisette Diaz and Miguel from Sweet Lizzie Project came in, and they were set to do one song, but in that moment, her and Michael Guerra decided to do Volve, Volve, Volve. And they did it once, and they blew the room apart. I mean, as good, it was a single one through, and it was just like it was at the Ryman. And nobody was talking. Everybody was just focused on them. And then it came time to leave, and, I hated to leave that room. It was just, it was such a warm feeling to be in there. And, the next day, the Friday, I get a call from Robert. I met him at his hotel. We had a pre-show meet and greet with his wife. Meet and greet. Hang. We met at a bar and had a pre-show cocktail and some coffee. And his wife Michelle was there. And there was another lady who came from England for the shows. And we were just, reminiscing and talking and taking pictures. And people were coming up to Robert, saying how great it was to see him again. And it came time to go to shows. We go to the Ryman, and it was just one person after another walking past Kenny Vaughn, saying, "Hey, Kenny, what's going on?" You act like you've been there. They're humans too, and we're all there for one reason, for Raul to celebrate what he created. That first night, I know there's so many moments that happened. They're already starting to meld into just one giant ball. And I can't remember exactly what happened when now. I enjoyed watching Robert Reynolds and his wife Michelle dancing behind the curtains like the whole night. He was singing along to or dancing to every song. At one point, I have medical issues. I have 2 bad knees and a curve in my lower spine, and I walk with a cane. And at one point, I got down on my knees in the wings, and Robert helped me get up. He was calling me the Gimp, and we had little pet names for each other as we would pass each other. I mean, I won't edit myself, but at one moment, as he was coming down the stairs with Chuck Mead, and I was passing him, he said, "Hey, there's that asshole," and I said, "Hey, dipshit, what's going on?" And they're just laughing. And Chuck looked at us like, "What you guys just say?" But we were just sitting in the hospitality room at one point with Seth Walker and Michael Guerra, just talking about Raul, how we can the various connections, how it's this big, huge, extended family. Running into Marty Stewart at the coffee machine and talking about John Prine. Meeting Smiling Jay McDowell and just talking about Raul with him. Julio Diaz, he wanted my shirt I had on. I said, "You want it right now? Because I'm not taking it off." And he said, "Oh, come on, man, later. He would, I was standing in the wings next to him, and he would look over and kind of nod his head, during the whole night. There was a lady, I believe it was Friday night. She was in front of Jerry Del McFadden right against the stage. She kept looking over at Robert, and I noticed she was holding up the first Mavericks CD on Y&T Records. And I looked over at Robert and I said, "You should sign that for her." And during the first intermission, she gave me the finger. And of course, whenever a woman gives me a finger, I come hither, So I went.
Finger.
I approached her, and she asked me if I could get Robert to sign that CD for her, and which he happily did. And when I gave it to her, he went with me and had a moment with her one-on-one. The second night, well, that first night, I was enjoying the whole night until Rodney Crowell sang "I Wish You Well."
Oh God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was beautiful.
Seth Walker was standing next to me. And I looked at him and said, Raul wrote that for his dad. And now that song's...
Okay, Mark.
Oh, that was when it really hit me. The person I really felt for was Paul Deacon. Because for the first time, he was about to play a show without Raul standing in front of him.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine what he was going through. And also, I'll never think of those Reese's Pieces Christmas tree shapes again after hearing what Paul Deacon called them. he called them little turds.
Oh, you had to ruin it for me.
I know. There was another story he told about that it's best if he told it. But the second day, I mean, we lingered around backstage at the Ryman until they started flickering the lights off and on, and the subtle hint that, like, hey, get out. We still have a job to do. We need to clear the stage. Like, nobody wanted to leave. It just spilled out into the parking lot. And then
Was
Saturday came.
the last night or the first night?
The first night.
Yeah, because you can, once you go past midnight, you can get double billed for the space.
Yeah, they told us we had until 12:05 to get out.
Yeah,
Dang.
they want you out before 12 for sure.
Yeah. The second day I woke up and I went down to Acme Feed and Seed where Max was had his pre Mavericks show party. They were playing Mavericks music on the sidewalk as he entered, and Sherry was there. I mean, there was no seats left at all. It was standing room only. That place was packed. And Max was wanting to grab a moment with everybody, take pictures, just to, because it was really hitting hard what was about to happen, or just the odd convergence of events, the way it played out, was really starting to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And that afternoon, I went down to the Ryman. I got in, and the band was on stage sound checking. Patty Griffin was there, and I grabbed a seat. And they were working on the studio version of "Here Comes the Rain." They were going to do the single version of it, but she had learned it from Raul's acoustic arrangement, and so she was having trouble. And the band was so accommodating for her. They said, we'll do what's best for you. If you want to do the acoustic version, that's the one we'll do. And so when they started doing the acoustic version, she just nailed it. She killed it. I mean, it was such a moment to witness, to see them go from, the version they had planned on doing, and the whole band was just telling her, don't worry about it. If you want to do it the way you learned it, the way Raul played it on acoustic, that's the version we're going to do. Which is, they were. I think that's indicative of the whole weekend. There was no animosity or tension, nothing. It wasn't the place or time for that. It was just, we're all here for one reason. I remember that second night, I was standing in the wings with Robert Reynolds on one side and Seth Walker on the other, and all three of us are singing along to "As Long as There's Lovin' Tonight." And I leaned over in Seth's ear and I sang one of the alternate lines Raul would sing every now and then, "As long as I get some tonight." And Seth just started laughing because he knew that Raul had a habit over the years of certain songs of tweaking the lyrics to make them a little more blue, a little more X-rated. When Chuck Mead was doing "Hey Good Looking," which is the first song that that I ever heard. And I've seen that music video so many times. And I know if you've seen the video, there's a dad trying to get his daughter to come home, and the song pauses, and the dad says her name, Maria, and it cuts back to Raul, and he says, "Come on home." And at the moment when the band hit that pause, I leaned over in Robert's ear and said, "Hey, Maria, come on home." And he looked at me and just started laughing and pointing like, yeah, just these little moments of, remembrance and recognition and connection that was just going on. I mean, it was so much fun that they afforded me that opportunity. Like Hillary had when she took those pictures from behind the band. I spent some time watching the crowd instead of the band because I could see what they see when they're up there. You could see people laughing, crying, singing along, dancing, couples holding hands during Neon Blue.
Mm.
To be standing in the wings as the can started and the band members, I'm in the middle of all of them, and to see how focused they were, to see them reach out and fist bump each other before they walked out, to start the show. I mean, I don't know, I can't thank them enough. I mean, I made sure to thank Robert, his brother Michael, anybody who may have played a part in it for giving me the opportunity to experience that. Whew. And
What's it?
oh, go
You're
ahead.
going through pictures and finding pictures of Raul and me.
What was that?
I said, I'm looking through pictures and finding pictures of Raul and me, and there's more than I realized.
Mark, can I ask you, do you know who the person was that was going around taking pictures Friday and Saturday night? Because I mean, I could see them a lot. I really couldn't see much if you were watching on the Nugs. You really couldn't see very much on the side or in the audience. But the person who was taking pictures was not Alejandro. Do you know where those pictures are going to be, or who's got those pictures, or?
I don't know. It may have been someone from like the Tennessean, the newspaper, who was doing it. I'm not sure. But after the show ended on Saturday, I was seeing so many people. I walked out front, and there's Krista, and I haven't seen her in 13 years. We had a kind of a ceremony. The last time I saw her was when the band reunited at 3rd and Lindsley in Nashville back in 2012, and now fast forward 13 years later, it's the next time I see her in person. We talked for a minute, and just to kind of calm myself down, I hobbled around the entire block, to kind of let it sink in. And I came back. Eddie Perez was outside taking pictures and hugging, and we had a moment. I told him, it's up to us now to carry this forward. And it's not my place to say, but I know that there were ideas bandied about how to continue, about just ideas of like, we don't want this to end, so how do we go forward with this? So I know they were talking about it. They want, there was also something I forgot to mention this. Before I left for Nashville, I brought a few things with me that were symbolic, had some connection. In 2012, when the band played at 3rd and Lindsley, Shirley Hill had buttons printed up for everybody that was there. It had our names on it. She passed them out. And Sabine, I can't remember how to say her last name, Steinheiser, I think, she was making little, it's close. Little clothespins with a little star on it and everybody's name. And I wore those at the show Friday night. I had them on.
That's cute.
And the next night, if anyone saw me at a Mavericks show for probably 4 or 5 years, I was always wearing a Barry Sanders Detroit Lions football jersey. I don't know why. I wore it once. It's a football jersey. It's big. It's comfortable. It just became, over time, it became part of my concert outfit. And then I retired and started wearing other things. I wore that on stage Saturday night. I brought it out of retirement. And then after there was one thing that kept, to me, it was a little odd. There was a guy I didn't recognize. I think Friday night he walks by. I said, "Hey, Mark, how's it doing?" I get at a quick glance. I didn't know who it was. And then he just turned back towards the stage. And then Saturday night, as I was waiting on Robert, the same guy walks out and he's carrying some of the leftover posters. And he gave me, it turned out to be Rudy, who works with the band. And he gave me one of each one of the posters. He said, "Here, this is for you." Because when I do the podcast, I don't think about the band. I can't think about the band might hear this. That might hinder me in some way. But I know Raul talked to me about it. Eddie told me he heard the episode with Christina Record, that she had sent it to him, and he listened to it. And, so I know they're aware of it. But, I don't know. I've had people think I work for the band. I went to one show where Joshua Way Walker was supposed to open, and he had an emergency, had to be taken to the hospital. And someone, I guess, thought I worked in management and could book an opening act. And I don't have anything to do with that. I mean, I don't know. It's that the whole day Saturday, I slept 1 hour from the time I got up until Sunday morning when I got home. I mean, I got back to the hotel, barely able to walk, doing what I lovingly call the Ozzy Osbourne shuffle. Got something to eat, packed, headed to the airport, Nashville, at 3 o'clock in the morning. So it took me over an hour to get past security for a 5 a.m. flight. The flight was already boarding when I got there. And then later, I come home, crash. I get a message from somebody in the Mavericks asking if I had a flyer from the first show, which I said, sure. I took a picture, sent it to them, and then they shared it on their social media. And a little bit later, I got the news. I mean, like I said in a post earlier today, as a music fan, at least I never got to hear Raul's vocals diminish. You never got to see him where he needed help, or he needed background singers to help him. But as a son who lost my dad 3 years ago, I mean, every year at the National Cemetery in Fort Smith, there's a Christmas wreath laying ceremony for family members. I think they do it at other national cemeteries across the country. But family members can go and lay a wreath on their loved one's grave. And this was the first time I wasn't there.
Feel you, Mark. We feel you. We feel you. You're among friends.
I I reached out to a friend and asked him to do it because our dads are close together at the cemetery.
My dad's there too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know, this whole I don't know. I mean, this whole weekend is the last week. I don't. I had this feeling of like this was a celebration of life. Awake, and just the way knowing that Raul could hear the music Friday. I'm not sure if he did Saturday. I know he did Friday, and hearing people who visited him, and at least he got to hear people enjoying what he created and what brought all of us together, knowing it's going to live on.
What you said today in your post about that his voice, we never heard it any different than when we first heard him. It was stayed. And you see artists today who are aging or not well, um who just don't sound like themselves. We'll just leave it at that. But over the last, really since July, when I saw Raul and the Mavericks, well, let's go back to when the concert tour started, and I was buying my tickets and looking at dates, and um I didn't know they were going to add more dates or if they weren't going to add more dates, but I didn't know that they were not uh that they had got put between Ben Haggard and Dwight Yoakam. So then I realized that they were in the middle. And then from what other people were going to concerts before I went in July, I realized it was going to be about an hour. And it was great. That what I'm saying is that at the time I didn't know what Raul was dealing with.
Oh.
So now, in fact, I just looked at some videos today that I shared with Randy and Joni, and I think I sent one to Judy. I haven't even really looked at them. To look now, you would never know. You would never know, but I know Raul had to have been suppressing a lot for us to be able to perform like that, because you couldn't tell. You couldn't tell. And yeah, it was an hour versus say 3 hours. But it was an hour of kick ass. It was just total Mavericks, Raul, just leaving it all on stage. And now to know that he was not what he was dealing with, it's just mind blowing. And yeah, what you said is so, so profound, to not have ever one note crack, waver, bad, couldn't sing it, all that he did for us.
Yeah, Hillary, you remember the shows at Green Hall back in 2010? Um, we didn't. I think the Monday after that, Raul, or a few days after that.
In 2010?
I mean, I'm sorry, 2019. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hillary was.
Yeah, memory's a little Swiss cheese right now.
Yeah.
Hillary was. We were there. It was the end of the 30th anniversary tour. They played 2 nights at Green Hall, and the next Monday, Raul had ankle surgery,
Right.
and the only time you noticed it was at the end of the night when he turned to walk off the stage. You kind of noticed he was. You could kind of see something was bothering him, but during the show, he never let on. Like he just he performed through it, and didn't. He gave it his all. I mean,
he was all in for performing, and
Yeah.
that's what fueled him.
Mhm.
He was doing it for us, but at the same time he was doing it for himself,
Mhm.
and it was really something.
Yeah. I remember that trip. I was Hillary's bodyguard and chauffeur.
Yeah,
For-
that's right. That's right.
Awesome.
Gave me plenty of rides. Thank you
You're
again.
you're welcome.
Actually, I think the pictures I posted today of some of the group photos of us at Debbie's house, Debbie Miller.
Yes. Yeah.
That was, I think that was the 2019.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you
my,
actually,
my brain's not exactly solid lately either.
Yeah.
So
I
I'll put
remember
something on. Somebody referred to a video that I put on. It's like, I don't remember.
Yeah. I mean, this.
Uh,
Oh,
I was gonna say, I know, like for me, I haven't really been able to watch any video footage, just pictures. And then Carol said she got her calendar. And so that reminds me, I need to get my calendar. And if anybody is interested in the Raul Malo calendar, Hillary's the person to
Thank
get
you.
in touch with. And I have a feeling that the pictures are gonna, uh, I can move it back to the videos a bit faster, um, to have those pictures. And I honestly have very few pictures of my own, but Hillary, I know where to go to get
You have
pictures.
no idea.
I'm
Steve and I
so
were talking about it today, and he was doing some figuring because the average amount of pictures I might take at a concert, it's sort of a cheap way. I don't know if I count cheap, but when you do concert photography, it's not like posing people and they're holding still. You've got light changing, you've got movement, you've got interaction. So there's this expression to spray and pray and just,
Yep.
keep taking
yeah,
a lot. But,
yeah.
I'd like to think I'm looking for something. But I could take anywhere with shows anywhere from 1,200, 1,500 pictures during
Oh
a
my
show.
God.
You must have
And
hard drives filled with
I
pictures.
say, well, I save the original memory cards. I save,
Oh my God.
and I also upload all to the cloud. My website is with a company called SmugMug, which is actually where Amazon hosts things, is with SmugMug too. So I have got so many. I mean, if my phone fell away, no problem, because it's all up in the
Wow.
cloud. I pay for storage on everything. I have a bunch of external hard drives. I save my original memory cards. So thousands and thousands of pictures. I mean, I have some that are unedited. I go to a show and take, let's say 1,200 pictures. I might share 15 out of that. I can go back sometimes and actually, you'll see in lots and lots of pictures from shows that I have pictures of Steve with me or with others, and he very often is wearing the Raul Malo t-shirt. And that was actually the first thing when Raul had asked for that photo. He said, "There's a photo that your mother liked." He was on Facebook at that time. He wanted one for his mother, and I knew exactly which one he meant. And eventually, this was while he was doing the solo tour when they had broken up, and they had contacted me, about using it for a t-shirt because the band was getting back together, and he wanted the Raul Malo t-shirt, and he wanted some pictures that he did a tour book that includes some of my pictures are in there, and the Pulitzer Prize winner, the late great George Gutierrez. I mean, to be in a book with him, whew, that was really something, and some personal photos that they shared. But now I lost my train of thought. I forgot my point.
You're
I
talking
take a
about
lot of
all the
pictures.
pictures.
Get a piece of cake, it'll help.
Anyway, I've got so many. But the shirt that Steve wears all the time, that was that first shirt. And the first picture that he wanted for his mother, and then he wanted for he wanted to do some things when he knew he was finishing the solo tour. So we had the book and the t-shirt before the band got back together.
I have to say, in the little time that I've known you, like face to face like this, Hillary, because I always saw your name, I just didn't know who you were. I go, this must be their photographer or something. I don't know. She's
I'm a
got all the
fan.
pictures.
A
Yeah,
number of
but
people thought a number of people have thought I worked for them. A lot of people have thought I toured with them because we've been so many
Yeah, I was like, how
places.
can she be everywhere? She's everywhere. Yeah.
Well, we'll thank Steve for that. Are you still here? Oh, he went out. But as I had written before, I thank him. I'm no long distance driver, but my husband and living in it, that we drove to so many, he always supported me. He loved going. It was, as I've said many times, Raul changed my life. I'm a retired
Yeah.
dental hygienist. I'm a fan of the band, but I came to the band, came to know Raul because of a photographer friend, Kathy Clark, who
Mm-hmm.
Mark knows very well.
Yep.
Kathy Clark said, you got to, you know, listen, when I'm feeling a little low, I throw a CD in and listen to Raul Malo. And I sort of her. And then another time she said it. And I said, well, who's Raul Malo? And that was 2010. And she recommended I go to a show in Sellersville. And we thought that was a little bit too far. It would have been like a 45-minute drive. And then she recommended we go to Tin Angel in Philadelphia at another time. And that was the first show that I had ever seen. But I came because of photography to know him and the family and the band and everything. And, I listen in awe as Mark can talk about who, and in my memory anyway, but the names of singers, the names of songs, remember all those things. I can't remember any of that kind of stuff. I love it. I love what I hear, but I'll look at a picture and I'll remember which venue, what was happening, who the people were. Somebody will contact me on Facebook and I remember I met them at this show or that show. Name of a song, it doesn't stick. But I come from a different perspective, and it's still love. It's what Raul did for us in our life is beyond words. And we're travelers. And I think that because actually travel is what Steve and I had in common when we first met. And so the idea, we saw them in Canada, which is the international, was it Montreal International Jazz Festival. We saw them in the UK because we had sort of time to plan, but we were welcome to stay at a home of Bernadette Sunderland that I only know because she heard I was coming. She contacted us and we were looking for an Airbnb. You can stay with me. I've got room. So she was actually our home base in Blackpool, England, that she welcomed us to her home. And she's a dear, dear friend forever. After that, it was wonderful. We went to shows together. I have to send post some friend pictures from the UK trip. But we saw them in 3 places, and remind me. I can't tell you that because I can't think of this. I'm getting nervous talking, but I can't think of the city. So we saw them in 3 different venues in the UK. And I have to, besides Raul, I'm grateful to my husband that we were able to do that. And on my own, I don't think it would have happened. But with Steve, we were really a team to be able to accomplish all that. So I give him a lot of credit.
How awesome. That's so awesome. And you can see all the posts people have been making in these other countries. And it's just amazing because you were there.
Mm-hmm.
Other countries.
On the merch side, the only quote unquote official merchandise that is being promoted right now is Hillary.
Thank you,
Brandy. And that beautiful calendar. And I wanted to segue into, because I just had this was sent to me from a lawyer in Nashville.
Made a post a minute ago, didn't you?
I posted part of it. I got to go back and edit it. It was somebody who's fraudulently using Raul's name to sell merchandise.
What's wrong?
And so I put a post. I know exactly where she is, where she lives, the P.O. box she has. I know her house, all of it. Track everything down. So I put that post up, and I'm going to go back and edit and tag her in it to make sure that she's aware that we know. And it's a fairly new page, but I've got her home address in Colorado where she's working out of.
Wow.
But so anybody, we were talking about merch, and I wanted to kind of put that up in the air. And there's apparently a couple others doing the same thing right now. So we're going to track
the only merchandise. The only legitimate Mavericks merchandise you can get is via the Mavericks merch, mavericksmerchandise.com. or maybe it is mavericksmerch.com. I was just there, and I'll be honest with you, there's not a lot there right now. Hopefully that will change. But I want the calendar because one, it's Raul. Everybody wants a calendar. And two, now we know the person who took those pictures. I mean, it's like, what's better than that?
Right.
So,
Thank you.
there's
I can't begin to tell you how much that means to me. I mean, it's really been a labor of love, and I had no written contract or anything with Raul, and as I said, I didn't work for them as some people thought, but I had said to him at his parents' home the time that we were there visiting with Norma, and Raul dropped in, and I said to him, I said, do you mind if I sell my photography? So I didn't know how they felt about that. And he said, oh, for what you've done, no, you deserve to earn a little something too. But I mean, I have a centerfold in an album with pull-out art with his solo tour ending. They use some in promotion, which one? Yeah, I didn't even know
Of course,
about
Mark
that
is gonna
one,
have it.
Mark, until
Yeah.
after it was out there.
Yeah.
The poster. Do you have the poster with the two of
Yeah.
those on
Yeah.
it?
It's in the other room. Yeah.
Well, go get it. No, I'm kidding.
But
No, but that poster, actually, I had to go and buy. It was what happened is they were putting them out, and they decided, or they were selling them or something, and I decided, well, I would like to get one too, but I put an order, and then they ended up canceling selling those posters for whatever reason. But Bob Collins, who also is a big collector, he had one. I'm like, how did you get that? And he said, I don't remember exactly where he got it, but he said, but they have them on eBay. So I went to eBay and I bought myself that poster. And
wow.
I have it framed and hanging in my house. But as I do, I mean, every wall is filled with, because I was invited to an exhibit for concert
Thank you,
photography
Susan.
actually a few years ago. So I had a lot that were framed. So guess where they're hanging? There you
Oh.
go.
You did it. Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
those are my pictures. Those were taken at the
Oh,
Montreal Jazz
nice.
Festival.
Oh,
Thank you,
wow.
Mark. Thank you,
Thank you,
Mark, for
Mark.
sharing that.
Good boy. Good boy.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Can I just say, Hillary, I get a laugh. I just have a laugh inside whenever I think of your story telling us that you didn't want to go travel the 30 to 40, minutes to go see them the first time, but now you'll travel across the country, maybe to
Well,
Cuba. Did you
yeah,
say?
well, see,
So I
and
get a good laugh at that.
I think too, that shows, I mean, I wasn't a music person. It wasn't
Right.
something I followed and did until I
Right.
did. And then
Right.
there was no stopping.
Right.
Yeah, look at her now.
Well, I like that the pictures come from a fan. I mean, that just makes them even more special, that they're not just somebody who was, doing their job, that it's an actual fan. That makes them even
It's
better.
interesting that you said that, because I had people say, oh, they should pay you for this. Is that, you know what? It would have changed it. I never wanted to be paid by that. I would have hated that. The pressure. I mean, I photographed a few weddings. You don't need that kind of pressure. You don't. You've got
Yeah.
with that. But
Yes,
I'm
that's
so
true.
grateful I had the access, that they welcomed me, that, for a number, not, it sort of ended, but that for a number of years that I got photo passes, so I had access to get close. That made a big difference to be able to do it. But I loved it, and loved everybody that I've met because of
Very
it.
fortunate.
I want to read something my niece sent to me. It's actually from the fan page, which, by the way, has surpassed 8,000 so far.
Wow.
Congratulations.
She said, well, it should be probably 40,000 by now, but can't answer a question, can they?
I was going to put a side by side of it, the do and the don't. I haven't done it, but I will. I'm trying, cut people's names, cut people's names off. I mean, honestly, the amount of people that don't answer the questions.
It's tens of thousands at this point.
I just,
Literally.
and and they'll write a paragraph on how much they love the Mavericks,
Yes.
but then they
and
won't
can't put them
agree to
through.
they won't agree to will you be
So Joni
kind or
is laughing because she knows it's
yeah,
true.
but they'll write some of them more than they'll write like, so they leave the top question off and the bottom question, but they write a whole and they're fabulous reasons why they love the Mavericks, and then they don't answer. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't remember what those questions are, for doing that, but is it
It's the most
placement that they're
simplest.
not paying attention?
Well, it's a flip. So the ones who will, because it's still a publicly listed page, but no comments can go through if you're not a member. So a lot of people, I'm going to say a good 60-70% at least,
Yes.
are commenting that are not a member, and they're just commenting because they saw that it just came up in their feed. Because like it in Annette and Joni know, because I just sent them the analytics. Like combined right now, we're over 5 million views, and just in 3 social media platforms of mine.
Wait,
just
views of what? Of
people
the
that are
Zoom?
on the page viewing.
Oh.
So that our stuff gets loaded up into their feeds that are on this, that are viewing. So it's going to pop up in their feed and everybody else's, feed along the way. So the views are actually represent the ones that are actually stopping to view it, not just scrolling past it. So then they'll in turn click and comment. They love their old whatever, they're leaving a comment. The comments don't go through, they're hidden. So they have to be manually approved, and they don't get through because they're not a member. So they get a copy and paste statement of what they need to do and correct and fix and stuff like that to be able to do it. And then the rest of them are joining. We've got a good, maybe 10-15% that are solid, and we click right through and just knock them out. I mean, there's been a couple thousand probably today. I mean, it's been nonstop of new people. And then the other ones who will not fully read, or they'll miss the box where it says click to agree to rules. There's only 2 simple questions. Are you going to behave like an adult, and why do you like Mavericks, basically, or why do you like Raul? Because this is more specific to Raul. But they could just kind of gloss over it and not respond, even though it's asking. They think, oh, well, maybe I don't need to respond. You do with us. So again, my niece sent this, and it's a post that's on the Mavericks site. It's a picture of Raul. He's in a blue shirt, a blue beanie, and the woman next to him is in like blue and black. And my niece said, I don't know who wrote this, but it's a beautiful testament to Raul's journey. And she didn't send me the whole thing, so I couldn't tell. But says, I heard this yesterday on a totally different subject, but I thought of it. Sometimes things in life don't break because they failed. They go because the job they had to do is complete. Raul brought people together, fixed parts of us that were broken through song, made us laugh, made us cry, and taught us to look at life in a positive, beautiful way. He and I used to nerd out over Star Trek. We had that too.
Love it.
And he'd laugh at me over my Marvel DC love. And he'd say, you're more of a nerd than me, doll. I'm glad he's no longer suffering, but I'm heartbroken, just like everyone else that is passing. Spending so much
Blue.
love. Huh?
That's Blue Cantrell.
Is that Blue?
I'm pretty sure. Because I read that today.
Okay, it's okay.
Blue Cantrell was the one who wrote
earlier,
that.
maybe an earlier picture, yeah. Sending so much love to everyone who touched me, but especially to his family. I hope every memory brings you joy, reminds you of other forgotten moments. We will play the music loudly. I couldn't tell who that was at first. I didn't realize it was Blue.
Yeah, that was such a great post
Thought it was a
by
beautiful
her.
post. And for my niece to send it to me too, she literally sent it to me. She says, "Oh my God, blah blah blah."
Yeah, because I saw Blue when we went to the UK shows, but I also saw her in Nashville, and she was at the Terrytown Music Hall shows, and there was a show, and I probably already told this story, but there was a year. It was my birthday. My birthday's November 1st, and Steve was going to take me. We were going out to dinner, do something.
Happy
Anyways,
belated birthday.
yeah, thank you. But in the end, I really wanted to go to the show in Terrytown that night. So we had lunch and then we drove to Terrytown. And during the show, Paul Deacon's son Harrison is also a November birthday. He's November 2nd, I believe. And so Raul's up on the stage, and he actually did a shout out of birthdays. He said, happy birthday to Hillary. Probably see her around here with the calendar. I think she guilted her husband, Steve. He always remembers Steve's name too. That she guilted her husband Steve to bring her here tonight. And he did a shout out to Blue because Blue's birthday is November 2nd. So it's and it just blows my mind that I had, and also Blue's a dental hygienist. How's that for a coincidence? Both of
Yes.
us.
Oh.
So that was a real
That's three of
special
us.
memory.
Yeah, a lot of
His
dental
memory,
hygienists here.
despite the treatments and everything like that, the memory and the
Unbelievable.
hearing up until the end were as sharp as you could get. Even with all the radiation, the memory was a little bit staggered, but it was still clear, and the hearing was spot on. He heard everything that was going on.
That's
Everything.
good.
Yeah, a mixed blessing. I think. I think something that haunts me a lot is the fact that you want him to be aware. You wanted him to know the love. It was
He did.
so much, but the feeling of the fact of his awareness is, I think, what gets to me the most.
I get that.
Yeah. Randy, how are you doing? I know we see you here, and we look at you and we assume you're
I'm
okay.
numb. I mean, I've been grieving for the last couple of months when he got the LMD diagnosis,
Ugh.
because I knew the research. I had his medical records. I've been making the appointments with the doctors for Betty and dealing with all the nurse practitioners and all that stuff. And I knew where he was at, but I was trying to stay hopeful because of the various studies and treatments that are experimental but available, minus the traditional treatments. And I had my days, and Net's aware, and just kind of going up and down, but I was so focused on responding to everybody and the influx, because I'm not used to the type of influx in the social media. And I also had people to help me before, when my stores were open, because I was so busy running the stores and meeting with design clients and everything like that. And I never got into the family business, even though I've done a bunch of stuff with music and TV production, whatever. But that's kept me sort of like focused. And even right now, because we're quadruple what we were just 2 weeks ago. It's kind of like kept me focused to not deal with it quite yet.
Yeah.
Because I know when I do, I'm going to pretty much fall apart.
Yeah.
And I've tried to just focus and stay strong, and be able to be there for my cousins. And Betty's got the weight of the world on her shoulders right now, and planning a funeral, and and funerals, I should say, and everything else. And it's a lot. And then, being there, trying to be there for her twin, Anna, and for, reaching out to the boys, especially Max, and just, reading all of the messages compounded by tens of thousands. What what did I say? What did I say I responded to on Instagram?
It was
And I,
like 60,
63,000 or something
yeah,
like that.
62,000. I was, yeah.
and that's been
On
what, in the
Instagram.
last week or two or something, whatever it was, something like that.
I would say less than 2 weeks.
Okay, so that was
Yeah.
Instagram alone of what I responded to. Facebook, I think, is a few 100,000. So like I'm backed up, and I'm still trying to get to stuff from that was even from a week ago. And I'm just
Randy,
like zoned focus on it, and then I go to sleep and chill and relax, and then start over in the morning.
Randy, I just
Yeah.
wanted to ask, I really, it hasn't been much, but how are Norma and Carol? Because we talk about Betty, of course, and the boys and the band and everything, but my heart has
That's
been
why I
with
put
them.
the post up about, with
sister.
Carol and Raleigh, and I even have a separate card for Norma and Carol, and even in the recent post I put up, often people, they love for Raul and everything like that, and they're like, okay, Betty, but okay, well, he's got 3 sons,
Yeah.
and he has a sister. He has a mother, he has an aunt, he has sister-in-laws, other family, cousins, who love him, loved him, and love him still, and always will. Um, so they kind of, and that's normal, uh, uh, in this culture, I should say, to kind of forget about the whole
Around him.
circle of family in this culture, because it's not common in a lot of other cultures. So that's why I wanted to make sure I put Norma's name and Carol's name on there for people to know how to spell, had their names and everything like that, so they could send condolence cards to them individually at that mailing address.
Hillary, if you are close and want to call her, she did receive my parents' call. They did speak to Norma.
I've been in touch. I
Okay.
haven't talked with her, but
Okay.
I've sent messages. I've been in touch with her.
And I just
Yeah.
keep sending
Yeah,
messages
I don't want to
to,
burden her. I mean, there's so
it's
many
a lot.
people much closer that are important, and
And
I
they're
just
working on the funeral as well. They're all like intertwined in with that right now. So I keep sending encouraging things to, all of us, to Betty as well. I mean, to Carol, because we're like, we're chat buddies on Instagram big time, like for memes. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm getting a new meme from her. I'm sending her one, like,
Uh-huh.
and so I've been, making sure that she knows that I'm there, and let them know that they can come here when they're ready to, and just vegetate, and just, sit here on the patio, put the fountain on, and, have some rum, whatever.
Shared him with the world. So very selflessly,
For
not.
decades and decades. Yeah.
Mhm. We were very fortunate, very fortunate. So I'm gonna read Karen's prayer. How are you doing, Karen? We texted a bit today. How you doing?
I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted and I'm extremely despondent.
Yeah, I think that's normal. I don't know what the stages of grieving are, but I know
There's
that this place for us has
There's
helped.
multiple steps, but there's
There's
sadness
5.
and depression and anger, and there's
Breathing.
varying levels. It goes like in a wave of within a 6-month period and beyond. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to say there's no right way or wrong way to grieve. Everybody
No.
feels
No
different.
time limit.
Everybody processes it different. But I do want everybody to know, because I know there are people out there that are struggling and maybe they don't have somebody close by to, a shoulder to cry on, so to say. But we are here and we support each other.
Inbox us, reach out to us.
Yeah.
We're absolutely.
Yes, definitely through Messenger or Instagram, Facebook, however, but don't go into yourself or withdraw. Let somebody know if you're struggling.
Absolutely.
It goes without saying, Raul brought all of us so much joy and light and love and happiness. And if you feel like me, I feel like I'm never gonna have that again. And I might be being unreasonable. It's sadness talking, but when you're in it, it's how you feel. When you're grieving, it's how you feel. And it's hard to imagine when you won't feel like this. And other people feel things stronger, harder, differently. So we are here for each other. The people posting on the page, God bless you all, because you all, some of them write like writers, like professional writers, like I don't know if they write for a living, the way it just flows out of them. The things that they said, the stories they share, experiences they had with Raul. We all have our own experiences, but the way they've articulated them, that you almost could feel like you were there when it was all happening, or things that you could totally imagine in your head, that seeing, visualize, because they wrote such clear pictures of their experiences with Raul. And we are going to have the lady Helena from LMD eventually.
We are. We're hoping to get possibly next week or within her schedule. And that was one of the things I wanted to get ready to mention. Today is her late son Theo's birthday. Today would have been his 19th birthday. I have a post up on Theo on the page, and also on our Facebook page, and it's on our Instagram page as well. And that foundation was founded in his memory and his honor. And just shortly after Raul's diagnosis, and because of a couple of posts that I had made in the LMD chat groups and stuff like that, Ms. Bader reached out to me, and we've been pretty much a partner from that forward on, and she's been very helpful with information and support and things like that. And having her on, I think, is going to be very important to delve into LMD beyond just from a patient standpoint, from a parent's standpoint, losing your child, and from all the research, because she goes and speaks to a lot of nursing conferences and different medical conferences and stuff like that about LMD to educate people. And I think she is going to be it's going to be another powerful episode for sure with our guests. And but yeah, for Theo, I wanted to recognize that today was his birthday, and that actually donations have already been coming in at the leptomeningeal Cancer Foundation in Raul's name. So you are able to donate in his name at the LMD Foundation to honor his memory if you choose to. I think it's a wonderful tribute, and that goes to help and funding research and promoting what LMD is to make more people and even oncologists aware of what LMD actually is.
And Randy, the GoFundMe for Raul that Betty has is still there as well, right?
It is
Still
still there. It's still operational because there's still medical bills, there's still big funeral expenses, and everything else. You know, we've got 278, 248 raised at this point, which is still a I mean, again, that's you know, barely 2 months worth of treatments,
Yeah.
you know, for infusion alone, nothing else.
Yeah.
You know, nothing else added on to that.
So
So
we want to keep that out there. Mark, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to share one of my favorite moments with Raul. This is my, it was in 2015, Shirley Hill and I took a road trip down to Dallas to see the Mavericks at the Majestic Theater. And for a short time, the band had paid meet and greets, which was awkward. It's like, they're doing what? It didn't last that long.
I
It
didn't
felt
know
like
about
some
that.
kind of alternate universe. Like, is this, what's going on? You know, why?
I've met them.
Yeah. But you know, you got to go to their sound check. You know, I was sitting in front of Raul when they did "She's About to Move Her." You know, she's about to move.
I would have paid for that.
You
I
know.
totally would have paid for that.
Oh yeah, and they had a room set aside for everyone for the meet and greet. Got to mingle, and Jerry, Dale, Eddie, Paul, and Raul made the rounds of the room. And before we went, Shirley said, "Bring something that'll blow his mind." I was like, "Okay, all right." So, you know, he comes. We're exchanging greetings and you know, kind of catching up a little bit. And I reached down and I hand him this record from 1987.
Oh.
It has the Paper Heart by the Basics on it. There's a picture of him on the back, right there.
Oh my goodness.
And he pulls the record out. He looks at it, and he says, notices it looks pretty much brand new. He says, "Oh, this is a well-loved record." I said, "Yeah, because I can only handle listening to the whole thing once." And he looked at the back cover and he goes, "Yeah, because this whole record, it's just crap, man. This is just all crap." And he said, I've got one copy. There may be 100. He was like, "Where did you find this?" It was on eBay for $10. He's like,
No
"Man,
way.
people buy anything on eBay." I know. Look at this Exhibit A right here. You know, and he took the record, the sleeve out, and he autographed it. "Only you would buy this crap."
Oh my God, that is so wonderful. Oh my
Yes,
God.
and I didn't know till I got home that someone standing nearby had videoed the whole thing.
Oh
Got that
wow.
moment on video. And I didn't know it when I watched it. After there's a point where he's telling a story. I'm looking at him. Michael Reynolds is here. And you see me unconsciously. I don't remember doing it. We had a little tug of war over the record while I pulled it out of his hand. I didn't know. I mean, it was, you could see his face just light up. You know, Michael Reynolds was like, "I've never actually seen that record before. I've seen pictures of it."
There's a
But
rumor.
Raul was just, I mean, this is
Urban
all,
myth.
man, this record's wonderful. I'll post the video in the group. It was just,
I want to see
that
that.
was, yeah, that was my, one of my, probably, out of all the different encounters I was fortunate to have with him, that's one of my favorites.
That's
You know,
a great.
Because over time, I earned the raised eyebrow when he would see me. He's like, "Oh crap, here comes Potter. What's he got now?" You know.
I find it so fitting that you were there at the Ryman. You know,
Yeah, it was.
So
I'm kicking
That's
myself for not going now.
I
I
went.
think I think everything that happened the way it was supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably would have fallen apart.
Oh,
I
Billy,
was
at
already
the
grieving my friend who passed 6 days earlier, so I probably would have just lost it. But still, just from the videos I've seen, it was beautiful.
yeah, when I think back to musicians that I grew up listening to and the way they, like the way Roy Orbison died when he had that
Oh.
comeback right at the end.
Yes,
You
yes.
know,
I'm feeling that, man.
ugh,
You know,
and
I may have mentioned I used to operate his fan club.
yeah,
They kind of took me in back in the day. So that was like losing family for me.
yeah. I mean, David Bowie putting the final record out and dying a couple days later on his,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Stevie Ray Vaughan playing this huge blues concert with Eric Clapton, his brother, and Robert Cray. I think
Oh,
Buddy Guy was there. And
there's
then,
also
you know,
uh that Raul passed on the anniversary of John Lennon's passing, and it's like he was kind of making a comeback then too.
yeah,
And on Malo Monday.
yeah. And on the 36th anniversary of the first Mavericks concert, too.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, that
And
didn't
all
hit
these
me until
little
I
signs.
that didn't hit me
Wow.
until I took a picture of that flyer. That's
So, okay, so December 2nd, I mentioned my friend who passed away that I've been upset about. He happened to have been a Roy Orbison tribute artist, and not many people can do that. Okay, with that kind of voice. But he was a friend of mine. He wasn't just a singer I liked. So that was December 2. December 6th was the anniversary of Roy Orbison passing away, and then we lose Raul. I'm not a big fan of early December right now because too many
man.
anniversaries.
See,
Why,
this
can
is
you imagine that Heavenly Choir? Whoa. You know,
That's
but
cool.
we
Wow. Oh, you put
Yeah.
a picture of that.
yeah. This is from December 8th, 1989, from the first Maverick show
wow.
at Churchill's Hideaway in Miami.
You really need to and if you all have all her details, I'll give you direct. But to work with Betty for the museum tribute, because there's already stuff he had already worked out a lot of things that he wanted there and what they were going to do with it and stuff like that. You know,
What
outfits to
museum?
show. It'll well, obviously there's going to be a museum tribute and things like that to him.
Oh,
But the and they've been putting stuff together, but a lot of stuff that you have, Mark, would be cool for you to have on loan
Yeah,
with
I mean,
credit and stuff like that, especially like say like the jacket or something.
yeah, like this is
Mark's moving to Nashville.
yeah.
hey
This
guys,
No, I mean because my family has stuff on loan at the Smithsonian and
Yeah.
stuff as well. My other family for stuff that my father worked on and things like that. So I mean it's a cool thing to do.
Yeah, like this is the first Mavericks demo tape. It has 5 songs, the first 5 recordings they ever did. And
Oh, Mark.
and this copy on the inside, there's a business card from Rich Uloa's Yesterday and Today Records.
Oh my God!
And on the back, Raul wrote his home and work phone number.
Yeah.
This is the demo tape he handed to Rich Uloa. That
wow.
You're
led to
like
the first
the
record.
wizard in Oz. The Wizard of Oz, he's the wizard. Oh my
Mark is
God.
amazing. Mark has
Oh my
everything.
Yeah. This is a 4-track preview cassette for the first record.
You'll never know the
It
end
has
of
you'll never know the end of the line on side 1, and side 2 is Mr. Jones and Just Another Lonely Life.
Wow.
Oh.
Raul dubbed these cassettes himself. He did 25 copies.
We're here to perform
And
the American classic.
one time when I
How did
saw him
you
at a
get
store,
that?
Grammy.
You beat him up or what? How did you get it?
He has his ways.
well, yeah, several years ago, I worked out a deal with Rich Uloa, and
Wow.
I have everything, or almost everything that Rich had. I mean, I have the notebook where he kept track of media contacts, where copies of the first Mavericks CD were sent to, how many copies they got, what individual number of the CD in the box that they were given. There's notes where you see the band members' names, how many copies they got. There's receipts from the post office showing how much postage they were paying for mailing the promo copies out.
Oh my
I
God.
mean, I've got the introduction letter that Rich Uloa sent out with promo copies introducing the band. which is right here.
He's like Rain Man.
And organized. Very
Yes.
organized.
I'm
Yeah.
just continually blown away.
Yeah, this is Rich Uloa's introduction letter to that went out to the first promo copies of the Mavericks Y&T record. And it says, Dear friend, it is my great pleasure to introduce you to a band that is sure to be the topic of many conversations in the near future. I'm referring to the Miami-based Mavericks. In less than a year, the Mavericks have become the talk of South Florida and are now attracting national attention with the release of their 13-track self-titled debut album. Please listen to the enclosed CD. I'll be calling for your reaction in the coming days. Also look for the Mavericks on the soon-to-be-released Alex Chilton tribute LP on Decibel Safety Net. Sincerely, Rich Uloa, and then he signed it. Now, that Alex Chilton tribute record he mentions fell apart. It never came out. The Mavericks recorded a cover of Paradise, which I have. And Rich Uloa has wanted to release that as like a record store day 45 it's like one of his dream projects to do it. And it's one of those songs that Raul had to be coerced into doing. He wasn't, he wanted to do his own stuff. Raul didn't want to do an independent record. He wanted to go straight to the majors. He had to kind of be convinced like this could be your calling card to that step. So it was.
Well, he obviously knew what he was doing somehow.
Yeah.
It worked because who's going to perform for the coal miners union?
Yeah.
Like who, like union, like if you've ever been to a union shop, we're not very nice.
I've got a question, Mark.
Yeah.
I want to see if you have any I could say merch, but it's more memorabilia coming from this place. But do you have anything when Raul played at the vice president's house?
No.
Okay.
Which vice president?
A ways
My
back.
question.
I could probably guess.
It was a while back.
Yeah.
Not
What
one you'd
year?
expect, though. Not one you'd
Wow.
expect.
What year?
It was a while back.
Wow, back
On it.
is all he'll say. Wow, I have
tried.
to say, my interest is has been peaked like
Same.
to the next level.
Well,
Yeah.
because they always have the cufflink things and
Mhm.
the tie tacks and this and that, the little booklets. I mean, they give you
Yeah.
so much crap. I mean, it's like
Napkins.
insane what they'll give you and they'll send you, especially if you're performing there. So I was curious if he was able to abscond with anything from
No,
that.
I mean, I have.
Oh, wow.
It's over there. It's like my cousin Lisa. She's got these signed. Betty's sister. She's got these beautiful. She has a lot of Louboutin shoes, and she has one of the pair that are signed from him, and she has them like in a little curio case, glass case for it, with a pin light on it and everything. And I'm like, hey, maybe if he does, he's probably got a pin light on it, and it's sitting over the corner with glass case over the top.
Funny.
Oh, God.
Hillary, when are you coming home?
Next week.
Okay.
The end of next week.
So if y'all want to get your 18 months of Raul pictures on a calendar.
I can order them anytime.
Oh, okay.
Because I
Well.
order them online, so it's not.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for you to come home. That's why I asked.
Me too.
But
Speaking
now that
of-
we were all waiting for you to come home, but apparently Hillary doesn't need to be home for y'all to order an 18-month Raul Malo calendar. So tonight Hillary's going to be inundated with requests for calendars.
Yeah.
She has team.
Thank you.
She left
Thank
the
you.
teamwork on it.
That's awesome.
It's not that many.
Speaking of a vice president, I have only found 6 pictures of me and Raul. I know I have more. It's just finding them is tricky, and I know there's some that aren't scanned yet.
Post
But
them.
there's 1 picture I'm going to, and I'm there's one from 2004 where it's a picture of me and Raul, and I'm holding up a sign that says Raul for President 2008. And he autographed it, but I can't read what it says, so maybe somebody can decipher it.
Show it to Mark. Mark will get it.
Maybe.
But
Mark,
I
thank
remember
you so
about
much
that
for
time
being
too.
here.
One of the concerts I went to, I had just gone to see U2 in 2004. I had met Bono and had my picture taken with Bono. And after the show, they were playing music over the speakers, and U2 came on, and I commented because it came on just as I was talking to Raul. And so then I pulled out the picture of me and Bono on my phone, and he goes, "You've been everywhere." I'll
Yeah.
never forget that. That was
That's
funny.
funny. That's funny. But
Yeah,
anyhow,
I
I would
just-
have made a wisecrack about cheating on him with Bono.
oh, okay. Mark, you were gonna say something?
I just wanted to mention, I saw somebody wanted to see this record with Hillary's photos on it. I'll post pictures of it in the page because it'll be able. But there are only 50 copies of this record, and both songs aren't anywhere else. I mean,
Oh wow. That's
And-
beautiful.
Oh,
Is that a
wow.
record
That's
or
weird.
a CD?
yeah, and it's
That's
a picture disc
beautiful.
with clear vinyl with Hillary's photos in the middle, in between the layers
Oh,
of
that's
vinyl.
beautiful. That's a
Okay,
really
so
pretty disc.
that looks
Is it like
small
a
for a
45
record.
or something?
Is that a
Yeah.
45?
Yeah, it's
That's
a 45.
so
It's
Wow.
got Okie from Muskogee on one side, and then Rock Me Baby with Jimmy Vaughn, and they misspelled Jimmy's first name on the on the other
I
side.
realize everyone here knows what a 45 is now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Well, we're dating
That's
ourselves.
awesome.
Might as well, because
That's
I'm not
a-
dating anyone else.
They didn't put, did they
That's
put
good. That's
Okie
a
from
good one.
Muskogee on anything other than
Just-
that?
Just on this.
Oh
It's the only
wow,
place.
yeah, well, they did that.
Mark,
from-
I
Do you have
actually never saw
anything-
somebody holding it, so I didn't really even, I've only seen pictures of it.
He's an urban myth.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't have a
The
sense
myth
of the
just
size or
happened.
anything.
And there's Raul and Eddie on the other side.
Oh, that's so cool.
And
That
what
is
year is
so
that
cool.
from?
Do you have anything when
What year
my
is that
cousin?
from?
2016, when they had the Pledge Music campaign, when they launched
Oh.
Monomundo.
Okay.
Yeah,
was
and
one
those
of the-
pictures are the ones that are from Montreal, from the
Mhm.
Montreal International Jazz Festival.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I used to tell Hillary that whenever Bob Collins and I establish the Malo Museum of History, there's going to be a whole Hillary wing. Because there's a
Rightfully
magazine
so.
where I had had an article on Eddie, and they used one of her pictures in the magazine that I have
You would have needed
over there.
one.
I have every one of her calendars. I have one of her original 4 calendars that she mocked up. That she wrote me a letter explaining the story behind it, and then her current, the poster, and there's, her books, pictures of me that she took. Like she'll be part of it. She has to be.
Incredible. Incredible. So
Mark, do
exciting.
you have
So-
an image of when Raul was doing the jazz festival in New Orleans and he was opening for Robert Plant?
Oh,
Oh, I'll bet that was a heck of a show.
I can't say for sure. I'd have to look.
Vintage guitar.
Well, no, I'm partial to that only because of
Thank you.
Bird Legs being there, Robert Plant. It's a family nickname, but a member of my family, I'm not going to say who, Robert wanted to marry her, and probably still does. Actually, it still does. Still crazy in love with her, but yeah, Bird Legs, Mr. Plant, asked about her at that event. I got word back about that. As soon as he saw Raul, he's like, "What is she doing? How is she?" So that's when you mentioned about the
awesome.
jazz festivals before. It triggered a memory for me, and I remembered him. I remembered that it was at. I'm almost positive it was at the New Orleans one, and he opened up for Robert.
Yeah, I know. I have recordings from some of those jazz festivals. I'm not sure if I have that one or any images. I'd have to look.
Cool. Thanks.
I
I
am
mean,
very.
I do have a recording that of a show that Raul didn't want recorded, but Alan Miller told the guy at the soundboard to run tape on it.
Oops.
And I met Alan Miller at a show in Nashville, and of course we knew each other through online. And he said, "You love Mavericks history, so let me tell you the story about a time about 10 years ago, which would be make it around 2003." He said, "I was quote unquote promoting some solo shows for Raul around Nashville, where he was performing with session musicians right before the Mavericks reconvened for the Sanctuary Records record. I mean, the record that they did on the Sanctuary label." And I said, "The Fabulosos?" And Alan looked at me like, "You know about that?" Like, "Oh, come on, please. You know I know about that." So he told me he had one CD copy of it that had to be recovered. He wasn't sure if it would play anymore, and he had 5 copies made. It showed up in the mailbox with a caveat that I know all the 5 people that have this. So if it shows up online and Raul did not want this show recorded, I know where to come. And it was Raul indulging his love of like Andy Williams. He does Donka Shane. It's a completely different show that he was doing, and he was just kind of indulging his love of, as he used to call it, he was going to release a record called Old and Corny Songs that would be like cheesy pop songs from the 60s that he loved as far as the songwriting and the vocals. But it's, I don't know, like, I would love for more people to hear it, because it shows another side of Raul that.
Get a copy of it to Betty, because she plans on doing a lot of things, because she owns his name right. She owns the Mavericks name at this point. So she controls that end of it, but definitely send any of those things to her directly.
Okay.
You can use the mailing address that we have, because we've already had some stuff sent there. Or if you message me, I'll give you her the direct address if you don't already have it.
Yeah, I'll just use that P.O. box address.
Yeah, it's very close to the house, and they're going multiple times a day.
That's awesome. Well, thank you all for being here. Thank you so much, Mark. I'm looking forward to picking your brain some more and seeing what other.
I think we're about out of time too. So
yes, I'm gonna read Karen's prayer in closing, and then we'll call it a night. This is a prayer of deep mourning and endless love for Raul. We gather with hearts that feel torn open, aching in ways we can hardly speak. Raul's passing leaves a hollow place inside each of us, a hurt so sharp and so deep because he was loved that fiercely. The world is beginning to feel unsteady without him, and yet somewhere beyond our reach, heaven must be overflowing with joy because it has welcomed our Raul home. Our Raul gave us so much of himself, his voice, his warmth, his spirit, and losing him feels like losing a piece of our own hearts. The pain sits heavy because the love was real. The love is real. In this grief, we must lean hard on each other to hold one another up, because none of us should have to face this kind of sorrow alone. Raul's family, friends, his brothers, the Mavericks, and the Malo Strong family, and the countless fans who adored him, we are all bound together now by the ache of missing him. Yet even inside this pain, love keeps glowing, soft, steady, unending. It reminds us that Raul is not gone from us. He has only gone ahead, where he is belting out songs like only he can. Raul, we miss you with a pain that feels endless, but our love for you is even greater than that pain. And it is that love, raw, loyal, and unbroken, that will carry your light forward when our hearts feel too heavy to lift. Amen. Thank you so much again, Karen.
Amen, Selah. Thank you so much, Karen.
And
Thank you,
you all.
everybody.
Yes, Karen, thank you. We love you.
Great comfort to be here.
Yes,
Anybody
thank you
who
for
isn't
doing
here
me.
tonight, who is at home, grieving alone, I hope you'll join us tomorrow. I hope you'll all come back tomorrow. We have so
course.
many fabulous stories to share and experiences. Everybody's
I just want
welcome.
to say I won't be I
Okay.
won't be here. We're doing a little side trip here with the
Okay.
family. So I wish
Okay.
you all a good weekend, but I don't think
We'll
I'll
see
be
you
able to
soon.
be on.
We'll
Get over
see
to
you
San Miguel if you can.
Yeah.
I don't think so this trip, but we took a side trip yesterday. Actually, I sent a picture to
Yes.
Net. Steve wanted me to get out of the house, which was a good thing because I didn't do anything the day before. But we went to Cholula. If anybody gets their hot sauce, that's
Oh,
Cholula. But
Tallulah, wait, Tallulah,
we-
the dust, it's mentioned
Tallulah.
in the song. Is that the,
but
Cholula.
but we went to Cholula, and I shared with Annette, and I sent her a picture too, that
Beautiful church.
it's a beautiful area, and Cholula has a great pyramid. There's actually one of the largest in the world, and it sounds crazy, but we did walk all the way up to the top, and at the top is a really beautiful little church. And I took pictures and everything, and I shared with Annette that though we are not Catholic nor Christian, we sat in that church and felt a very good place to just think about Raul, about the family, and it was a very comforting thing to be there. So that was a good side trip for us. Barely a 20-minute drive.
Well, be safe. We'll miss you, and we'll look forward to
yeah,
seeing you
be
soon.
safe in all your travels. My
Yeah.
mom wanted me to mention to you guys, I mean, there's been so much reporting and I've seen some really good reports, but she said that there was a great obit in the New York Times and the Miami Herald. In case
I
any-
still
Now we
haven't
know.
heard anything in the Nashville news channels. I'm mad at them.
Well, we'll look for those, Judy. Thank you for letting us know. And we'll see you all tomorrow here. We remain Malo Strong. Always. God bless you all. Love you.
God
See you
bless you.
tomorrow.
Thank you for having this.
Good
So
night.
Yes,
Guys.
thank
important.
you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye, Judy.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.